love you, and it was just, you're beautiful, and it was just really awesome to see you walk down the aisle to the Holy, Holy, Holy. It was just an awesome picture, and yeah, I'm happy to be your brother. And Andrew, way to go, thumbs up. Yeah, I always looked up to you, Andrew. I don't really want to embarrass you today. This is, you know, your big day, but I've always looked up to you, and I was looking back last night, just reflecting and reminiscing, and I realized how, you know, it's been pretty fast-paced, and honestly, you guys would, I mean, if you would have come up to me last year and said your brother's going to be married next year, I don't think I would have believed you. I'm not trying to like be funny, but I mean, he lived at parents, didn't have a girlfriend. So culturally and socially, it's not well perceived in America. I don't know why, but I know. No, seriously. So it's been fast paced for him. They met last. I don't know if you know him well, but hey, you want to put this one? Alright, they met last July, and their first date was December 12th, 2008, and then 6 months later, Andrew proposed. Popped a quick one. It was good. I approve that. I applaud that. It was good. And here we are, 4 months later, October 3rd. It's a day where start a lifelong journey in a covenant relationship. And Whitney, I feel like I haven't even known, well, I haven't known you for a year in my life, but I feel like I've always known you. And I feel like you've always been my sister. And I think there's two reasons for that, I believe. I think the first reason is because I've been the third wheel a lot. It's almost been ridiculous. I mean, Andrew and Whitney are in the front seat, and then Jones in the back seat. You know? And they're always doing the lovey-dovey talk, you know. And usually starts out with a question like, Whitney, if I was really fat and overweight, would you still love me? I mean, they really did that. And Whitney's like, oh yeah, Andrew, I always love you. And just that kind of talk. And so, I don't know where you are, but I envied you, Parker Clausen. Sometimes, not always, but I envied you. Down in Chinook, Kansas, isolated from the action, playing your Xbox, eating Halo. I'm in the front seat, but this guy has a family, a brother, a sister, and parents, and she's really been engaging in our lives. And I remember when Andrew was in Hawaii, and Whitney came over one day, and she's like, "Hey, let's go for a walk." And she got my dad and my mom and I to go walk together. that never happens. And let me give you another example. I don't know if you know, she's a nurse, and sometimes nurses ask really, like they invade your privacy. And so I was at Peter and Joy Hayes' wedding, and I was at the table with Whitney, and Andrew wasn't there, and her mom wasn't there. And she goes, Kevin, I have a question for you. And I just felt like she was putting me on that butcher paper for the physical examination. And she goes, Kevin, do you think I'm good enough for your brother? And I was like, oh yeah, good enough. Of course, a simple yes wouldn't suffice for Whitney. She said, why? And I said, well, I've never seen Andrew so happy in my life before. And then I said, plus you love Jesus, and that's a bonus. And I think, like, it satisfied her, but I don't know if it was the correct answer, so I just wanted to kind of set that straight. Not that, we'll see. Let me get my train of thought here. And I want to start with asking you a question. You don't have to answer, it's rhetorical. It's kind of serious, but do you know the plans that He has made for you? And have you read them in God's Word? And they are true, and they are strong, and they never fade, like pure love that rushes through the veins. And before you saw her face, or Rosedale, your first meeting place, and before first dates and love's big chase, and before salsa steps fled disgrace, even more than that in days, before mom and dad joined and prayed, Lord, give us a godly man today, and surely and gladly we will give your daughter away. And see, before the earth, and there was a time when, by the sovereignty of God, he chose a man, he chose Andrew, adopted his adopted son, and bound him with Whitney, his adopted daughter, for his name and for his glory. And so it's not, so to answer your question, it wasn't, see, God didn't bring Whitney into Andrew's life so that she could, spend her whole life making him happy. Because realistically, that's, I don't even want to think that's, realistically, it's impossible. Andrew kind of gets testy in the morning. But likewise, God did not bring did not bring Andrew into Whitney's life because of Andrew's ability to is able to make Whitney happy, but he brought them together. Really make me nervous. I like this guy. I wish he lived in Kansas. Wait, it doesn't. Alright, I'm pretty much done, but. God brought Whitney and Andrew together not so they can fulfill each other's happiness, but so they can show the world what a godly marriage looks like. And that's that. Cheers.